Disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Copyright.
Your category is things you might find in a workplace.
Oh, nice. Because right at my alley, I work in a workplace.
Very good.
Yeah, I think I was wrong. Totally wrong before. I think it's going to be fun.
Excellent. Your time starts now. Okay.
Look at this. Come on, old girl.
Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Guys, welcome to the show. This is Live at 5.
We're going live at 5. We're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. This is 665. Ooh, next day.
We're gonna jump into the show today. We're gonna skip affirmations. We're gonna do affirmations tomorrow. We're double up on 2. We're double up on 2 affirmations tomorrow. Why am I wearing a blazer? Guys, from castles to cornrows, a black Highlander story. I also do accents. This guy does accents. He got like 800 new followers. Shout out to that Scottish guy.
We're going live. We're going live at 6 o'clock. This is 665.
I know you've seen the trend. I've seen the trend. It's sweeping the nation. Not bad. I did a show about this 2 months ago called Old Ginger Snap. The premise of that show was about the other ginger woman who came out that all of the brothers and sisters, my brothers and sisters, has adapted into their into our diaspora, if you will. Because the aura feels right. I don't see nobody claiming to be white. I'm just saying.
Yo, that's racist.
But that's not what this show's about. This show, I'm going to get into the history of Black Scotsmen, Black origins of Black Scotsmen. I forgot a T. So let's just fix that. Black Scots, 2 T's, men. Got it. They look hot, they sound hot. That's pretty much the whole bit. They look hot and they sound hot. I was put on by another hot woman right here below. Just let me get out of my screen real quick. Put some respect on his background. Shout out to the background. Now, what you're looking at is the coalition. And that's how I feel. I feel like they're trying to form a coalition. Which is what we need, unfortunately, because we are outplayed and outnumbered. We have taken out blackness as far as we could take it in this country. It is unwanted. It's wanted, but not wanted. Aw, that's sad.
You've got to love life to have life, and you've got to have life to love life.
If you're just tuning in, thank you for joining me. This is Live at 5, the only show that starts at 7 o'clock. If it looks like a mental breakdown,
I wish a nigga. And like, subscribe, and share.
Spelled Scotsman wrong. That's okay. from Castle to Cornrows, the Black Highlander story. Highlander story. We'll start first with a of course, I'll play the clip that's sweeping the nation. But what I would like to do first, as I mentioned, is get into just the origin, just the beginning. Take it back. You know how I like my videos old? I like them accurate, but I like them old. But first, before we jump into any of that, I have a little treat for you, little clip. And also, I have, as always, what this show provides.
Once again, I'm not an activist. I'm just caught up in the shit. When you start the shit, you can't stop the shit till you finish the shit. I'm in the shit.
I have a mix. No, that's not what took me so long. I just have a mix. I'll play the clip first as I set up for the first video. And then before the first video starts, we'll listen to the jingle together. Hopefully it picks up. I hope it does. If it doesn't, I'll make a reel for real this time. I'll make a reel with these clips that I'm going to show you, all these little blips, and I'll fucking do it like that. I'll just make a little clip for next time. I mean, for the video when I put it out. Look who it is, my wife. Shout out to the most beautiful woman on the planet. Speaking of hotties.
The African American woman is the backbone of the Black family, really of the whole American family. I mean, who wasn't raised by a Black woman? I know I was. You know what? I'm getting a phone call, so I'm going to have to put a pause in this conversation, which I'm really enjoying.
Shout out to my wife. Shout out to Scottish people, Scottish Black people. I had to make that circle and get rid of this blue. That blue is not working for me. Oh man! Every time I come back on this computer after a woke goat, it's just like some drunken man has took control of my computer and now it doesn't act the way it did. It was me. It's me. It's me. I'm the drunken man who takes control of the computer. I just feel like all of my settings are all out of whack. I think somebody was fussing with my laptop. Who's fussing with my top? All right.
I do.
Let's get into the damn clip. All right. Shout out to a Black woman. Shout out to my wife. All right, here comes clip one. And then I'm gonna hit you with the jingle.
I'm Ginger and I'm back being a Black Scottish ginger babe.
Guys, honestly, I love you Americans so much. Like, I'm so...
I'm Ginger and I'm back being a Black Scottish ginger babe.
Guys, honestly, I love you Americans so much. Like, I'm so...
How'd you like that? It's a mini clip. I was supposed to say it was a mini clip. It's a short clip. Okay. Now for the banger. Banger's coming. Play the banger. Get into the origins of Black Scottish people. The first, well, not the very first. I have some snippets on that. I have just some written word on that. We can't really get into video of the 1400s, but I will say I will drop like fun facts about the first Moors who came, obviously, the main premise of this is that we are everywhere. That's the point of this. The reason why I'm making this episode is that I'm finding out that we are everywhere, and it's because we were put everywhere. So that's just how that goes. Well, we were rooted everywhere. Let's put it like that. And shouts to Cornrows. So our history with Europe has always been fun and in some sort of violent way. Because it's love-hate, just like everybody else. It's love-hate, but you guys be copying. You copy other people. You copy white angry people in America, and that's not you. That's not you. I mean, anyone could be racist, though. You could just pick it up. You could pick it up. So I understand it's easy to be. It's fun. For some, it's fun being racist, but it's again, it happens to one specific group, no matter where you go. So there's a new phenomenon, like I said, that's sweeping the nation, and I understand for centuries, different individual Africans of pure African descent have been part of the continent's social factor. So often, it should be expected. And it should be expected that they are everywhere, but it's still unexpected and fascinating when we find out that they are. So from Castle to Cornrows, it's just a duality of deep historical roots in European spaces. I would like to, again, like I said, start with the Black identity of the Scotsmen in Scotland, where they were housed, what kind of neighbors they had, how their hairstyles and demeanor, and I hate to use the word swag, but swag, I guess, swag. Switched up what you would most would think, I guess, what the traditional Scotland is looked at to be, which, you know, most things traditional just means take out Black people. But I started with this, again, like I said, my wife showed me the story yesterday, and I wasn't going to do this, but now that I got into it, it got crazy, and now I'm invested, like it always happens.
That's also known as an algorithm.
So the Moorish lassies, that they were a group, the name was Ellen and Margaret. I will try to see if they have a video, but I tried. Maybe they'll bring it up in this. They were two young Black women who arrived in Edinburgh. I hope that they bring it up during this story, in 1504. And they served as ladies in waiting to Lady Margaret King James the Fifth or something, the legitimate's daughter, the sixth legitimate's daughter. I think it's the sixth. The IV is six. I'm not Googling that. I don't want to. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah. The six. So a waiting girl, obviously a Moor, when you sit there and you wait with their shit and the slippers, a maid, just a Black maid, but they called them Moors because they came from a lineage, and they were a specific group of Black people who I want to say were around for the oldest of times. So that goes all the way back to 1504, and then it was a time within the 1400s, and we're going again with the same king. He had a lot of more slaves or whatever, and he more waiting people, waiting men and women, and you know, they just did things around the house and they were there. But a lot of them, of course, had families and et cetera, and this is where we're at today. They could, I mean, they would, you know, they were doing shit for them, but they were also having sex with them. So that's just how that goes. All the way back. Oh, it's 4? Okay, shout outs to you. Shout outs to the chat. 4. Got it. I said 6. Not even close. I don't know my Romans. Should, though. It's a shame. Should I? I don't know. But thank you for that. Thank you for your participation, your CP in the chat. Said it twice. So yes, as the power rose, this was a situation in France. There's a guy named Petrie and Morin, and I'll put their names in the chat. Now, the reason why is Petier and Moyen. Now, don't my French.
Oh, you got.
I understand, but I'll just put how their name is pronounced in the chat because I just said I have it written down about the 1504. So I'll put down how their names was pronounced in the chat, and then also what I'll do is that I'll show you what their names meant in English. Now these were French Scots, right? French Scots that were working for the king as well. So you had two, you have four actually. It was Peter and Morin, and then you had I said it earlier, the two women, the lassies. It's a group. Both of them were working. These are just the Moors that worked for the Moorish lassies are the group that were Ellen and Margaret, got it, that worked for the king the fourth, apparently. So yeah, Peter and Moore. That was the French name for them. It was Peter and it was Moore. Just called him what he was. Okay. Get into our first video. Thank you for joining me. This is Live at 5, the only show that's
going live. I wish I could like, subscribe and share. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's it.
Now, before I share my screen, let's get into that banger. Guys, what you're listening to is a speech, a very famous speech done by a Scotsman in a little movie called Braveheart. And what I also found out today, one of my favorite groups, the Average White Band, who sing songs that you may know from Martin Lawrence's show, Martin, Pick Up the Pieces. That group is a Scotland band. So I didn't know that. I learned that today. So it made me want to do a little something special.
We're going live.
Follow us on Instagram, connect on Facebook, wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll be right back. Live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's it.
All right, without further ado, here's the banger. Put some respect on that background. Got both Highlanders, 2 Highlanders, technically a Highlander, not a time traveler, but technically some sort of Scotland warrior. He did his best. Shout outs to the man.
Fight and you may die. Run, you'll live. At least a while. And dying in your bed many years from now. Would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one shot, just one shot, to come back here and tell us that they may take our lives, but they will never take our freedom?
That's it. That's all it was.
The African American woman is the backbone.
That's all it was. I'll take a hashtag Black. Hashtag Black Scotsman in the chat if you want me to run that song one more time. But if not, I'll wait. I can wait. But again, either way, welcome to Live at 5. The on the show set at 7 o'clock. We did it.
We're going live at 5. We're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's it.
You guys didn't put anything in the chat, so I'm gonna guess that we're good on the song. Okay. That works for me. Whatever works for you. Did I see this? Oh, I had some tips, guys. Got some tips. For the song. Audio's wacky for the song. Oh, okay. All right. That's probably a bit. That's probably how that goes. It's too loud. Let's see if I can get it lower. Let's see what we got. Try one more time. Last try.
Fight and you may die. Run. Kill them. At least a while. I'm dying in your bed many years from now. Would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
Hopefully that one went through. If not, I'll make the reel. I'll put the song out there. But that's just letting you know for your own research that the average white band, that's a band that consists of, if you've never heard of them, of multi-race people. They're all from Scotland. It's a Scotland-based band that arrived on the scene in the 70s, and they swept. Hit after hit. So shout outs to the average white band and shout outs to Braveheart. That was my Braveheart average white band mix. That's all I got. Listen.
Once again, I'm not an activist. I'm just caught up in the shit. When you start the shit, you can't stop the shit till you finish the shit. I'm in the shit.
All right. Like I said, I'll leave the link to the song in the chat if it sounds shitty on the thing. Hopefully this doesn't sound as bad as the song does. Guys, thank you for joining me. And let's get into the origins of Black Scot life. Start talking like them by the end of this episode. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. From Castle to Cornrows, the blackest Highlander story. Let's jump into this, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to put the bitch in 720p because I don't want any problems. Stable volume, sure. And then we'll start it off. Let's get full stream.
You might have passed by the Scotland community just off Seven Locks Road and think it's just another housing development in Potomac, Maryland. But this community has a rich history filled with generations of African-American families who have endured for more than a century to keep the land they call home. Montgomery County's Scotland community dates back to the Reconstruction era, when newly freed African Americans were first allowed to buy property. William Dove was among the first to settle in Potomac, Maryland. He bought 36 acres for $210 at a public auction. Over the next few years, more Scotland founding families bought land in what was known as Snakesden until the community adopted the name Scotland in the 1920s.
I was surrounded by history without knowing, but every day I was learning something.
Scotland's, wait, hold on. Hold on. This is the wrong Scotland. Is this the wrong Scotland? What is the Scotland community? This is why you got to watch the videos. What
Community dates back to the Reconstruction era when newly freed African Americans were first allowed to buy property. William Dove was among the first to settle in Potomac, $210 at a public auction. Over the next few years, more Scotland founding families bought land in what was known as Snakesden until the community adopted the name Scotland in the 1920s.
I was surrounded
how
by
would
history.
how would I know? How would I know? How would I know that this was the wrong Scotland now? Hold on, I'll let it play because it's still a fascinating story, but it's not. I don't think it's not Scotland.
Knowing, but every day I was
another
learning something.
Letitia Gassaway Paul's great-great-grandfather was William Dove.
The importance of the land that we currently live on today is so significant, and I don't take it for granted. So this is the original light that my grandfather had installed in 1968.
Letitia lives in the Scotland home where her grandparents raised her. She carries the memories and the presence of her ancestors.
My ancestors lived in shacks.
Plus, Hulu and HBO Max.
All right, stop that. Okay, that was the wrong Scotland. It is interesting. It is, and this is for another day because I'm talking about actual Scotland, so I can't. I will save this, and we can come back to that. She said my family lives in shacks, and they cut on that. Because I do have actual videos, so I just would rather get to those real quick, and then in time we could get to that. But that's a different story. Sorry. But I was trying to oh God, it's going through all my stuff. Yeah, how would I know that there was a Scotland community called Scotland and they called themselves Scotlanders? That's not right. But all right, let's get this, because that was not the history thing that I wanted, but I'm not going to get gone off track or whatever. I'll just start getting into, I have another video that will get into the Scottish point of view of being Black in Scotland. So this was, I hope, again, I don't like to watch the videos because I like to be just as shocked as you, which that didn't pan out for the last video. Thank you for joining me live at 5. The only show was 2 Scotlands. The tale of 2 Scotlands. Even though they're both being treated poorly.
I wish a nigga. Like, subscribe and share.
Thank you for your CP in the chat. We will come back to that story, I promise, but not tonight. That's taking that's kind of racist, because I feel you, sis, but I got bigger fish. Not to call you a small fish, but I'm working on another fish. All right. This is just going to be about slavery from a Scottish point of view. I'm going to put this shit in 720p, and because we don't want any problems. And this is just something that I wanted to know how they feel. 19,000 people gave it a thumbs up. Slavery is often seen as a racial issue, but Scottish history tour guide Bruce Fumi takes you to Cornrows at the National Mining Museum, Cornrows Mining Museum in Newton Crane, to tell the story of coal slavery. So let's get into that. Put it on widescreen. Let me we still get some history. Get some Scotland history, guys. Welcome to Live at 5, the only show where you get Scottish history.
If I say slavery, what image comes to your mind? If you live in the Western world, then even if I had presented a blank screen here, your mind's eye would probably have conjured up an image very much like this one, and with it, a whole basket of attitudes, opinions, and prejudgments that linger. Am I right? But today, I'm going to ask you to think differently. Can you do that? Because in this video, I want to illustrate that slavery is not black and white. Neither.
Who's the scary guy that makes the scary movies with the dreadlocks? Because that's who he looks like. Not George Romero. The other George Romero. The one that made all the spooky movies. Rob Zombie. That's who he looks like. Shouts to Rob Zombie.
Did that make you feel a certain way?
My man's giving Rob Zombie. He's got the bandana on. He's giving corn. He's giving he's giving 90s sickness, 90s punk. I love it. He looks like the mix between corn and just corn. That's all I got. Shouts to him. I love this guy already. I'm in. If it looks like a mental breakdown, guys, you know what to do.
I wish a nigga. Like, subscribe, and share.
Is it black and white? So let's reset for a moment. Racial hatred doesn't make sense. There seems to be a group who hate Jewish people and black people. Why both? It's like saying, I don't like raspberries, so naturally, I don't eat shellfish or lamb either. I say that because I hate raspberries and shellfish and lamb. But I don't imagine for a minute that I'm part of a large subset of a Venn diagram. I mean, the Jewish people are probably with me on the shellfish, but probably not the raspberries. Are raspberries kosher? As a tour guide, I once had a Jewish family on tour. Now, the only reason that I knew that they were Jewish was that I'd bought them some Tunnocks tea cakes and they refused them. Apparently, raspberries, shellfish, pork.
I like
and Tunnocks tea cakes. I asked lots of questions that I'm sure were way more intrusive than appropriate. One of which was,
things like this.
Why? What's with the hating Jewish people thing? I just don't get it. Not only that, it seems to have been
Is there a way, not like a Men in Black situation, but is there a way that when we say the word slavery and black people, we don't automatically go to Jewish people? Is there a way we could do that?
Yo, that's racist.
I'm sorry, but that has nothing to do with each other.
Go back to my home country.
Delete. It has nothing to do with each other. That was a Germany problem. That was a Germany versus Jews. 1-on-1. Different country, different problem. Delete. You can't bring up slavery without bringing up the Holocaust, and I don't understand that. I need that to be far away from slavery because it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And there were times that Hitler himself, not to quote Hitler,
What are we talking about?
but he has called the ways of the American system. Now I'm getting my blazer all riled up. He called fix my handkerchief, wrong side. He called the blazer of the blazer. He called the customs of the American people atrocious. He said the way that you treat African Americans, I would have never done that. Like that lady finding out her great-great-grandfather was an abolitionist, and she had to bring up Anne Frank. Exactly. What the fuck? Thank you for your CP in the chat.
It's a word that some man made up.
Listen, I don't need to hear about Anne Frank you don't compare Anne Frank to Harriet Tubman. What are we doing? You can't mention Harriet Tubman without mentioning Anne Frank.
We're going live.
If you mention Frederick Douglass, you got to mention the boy in the striped pajamas. It doesn't have to be like this. Those are two separate occasions. Thank you for your CP or atrocities, really. Think occasion sounds like a holiday. Thank you for your CP in the chat. No, I don't. I agree. We watched this lady, this white lady. She came to tears. I cannot believe that my family They're not pieces of shit, and they didn't sell out the slaves. Shout outs to your family not being a piece of shit. But then to go straight, wait, so I don't understand. And Frank, dude.
Yo, that's racist.
You're right. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
And I understand. It was bad. It was bad. I understand. But you already got your money. Back off. You already got your bread. Back off. Okay? That's me. Okay. You heard it here first. Dear Holocaust empathists, stop comparing foreign issues to American problems.
You know where that came? That came from me. That came from me. It was my doing.
It's not the same thing, Poppy. I'm sorry. Again, thank you for your CP in the chat. Always, Emperor.
The African American woman is the backbone.
All right, let's get back to my man. He's got so many jokes. How many jokes he thinks he's got before we get into it? He's got jokes and jokes and jokes.
Current theme for a long time. Hating Jewish folk just didn't make sense to me until they refused to turn tea cakes.
We're going live.
I explained that I understood the racism that a diminishing number of white folks have towards black folks, even in the 21st century. You see, there was a time when it was essential for some white folks to see black people as less than human in order to justify transatlantic slavery. People had to learn racism because financial gain depended on it. So the idea was promulgated until it became ingrained in society. It's why we in the Western world are used to thinking about slavery in the context of race. I don't see the same logic for the Jews.
Oh,
one of them
no.
said, but Jews were the original slaves. No, they weren't. It wasn't like Ramesses came to his advisors one day and said, I was walking in the park and I saw these folk. Jews, I think they were called. And it gave me an idea. And I've invented a thing called slavery. And the good news is it gets their pyramids built faster as well. Slaves already existed.
Sorry. What did the slaves work? What did the Jewish slaves work on? No, I'm not doing this today. I'm not doing this today. I'll let them speak, but I'm not doing this today. I'm not going to do the comparing of tragedy in the world today. That's not like this is stupid. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting a little ridiculous.
I didn't question or whether Jews had ever owned slaves.
He walked off on that. That he questioned that. Sure, Jews probably.
What if you can create your own website by?
Who cares? There's a free for all. Who cares? If it looks like a mental breakdown, please.
I wish
every contribution, view, share really helps out the channel. It boosts morale. Where is he going with this? He's going, but he's just like, listen, I didn't say, listen, it's not the same. And also he's hitting, he sounds like someone who's been on the internet, like fairly new. So like he's just finding out that, you know, everyone's saying the same thing. Thank you for your CP in the chat, by the way. They weren't the only slaves. Everybody was a slave. Everybody has slaves. I understand that. That's not what we're talking about today. Jews had slaves. I know everybody has. It was a damn thing for CP in the chat. It was a damn thing.
Take 'em away downtown.
You get a slave. You get a slave. You get a slave.
Holy shit!
It was a free for all. So it was one of those auction houses. It was 25 niggas, 45 niggas, 65 niggas, 75 niggas, 25 niggas, 25 niggas, sold little niggas, so little baby nigga. Do I hear 6'6" for the nigga? I don't know if the Jews ever went through that. Sorry, I'm sorry. And I don't know what they made. I don't care. I'm not doing that. We all know that slavery and being held captive, like for slaughter, see, that's the thing. We had to work they didn't just burn us. I wish they did. I wish that they did burn us. Honestly, we would have got this shit all over with. I know they burned some people. I'm not saying they didn't burn anybody, but I'm just saying if we would have more respect if they put us in ovens.
Regular, it's regular. No.
No. We have never had slaves. African Americans have never owned slaves, let alone own anything.
What are we talking about?
Too good to have. We would never give us slaves. What the hell? What the fuck? How the fuck would that have worked? Then it would be just as good as the white man. Slave chat. Thank you for your CP in the chat. Yeah, no. If they would have probably burnt us, they would have gave us more respect. For some, I shouldn't listen. I said, you want to know how you get kicked off the internet and get your video shadow banned? Just talk like this. Talk like this. Oh boy, I'm heading down Kanye West territory. I didn't feel like doing that today. I didn't know I was going to talk about Jews today. It wasn't even on my radar. It wasn't on my radar. Jews are never on my radar, actually. No disrespect. It's just I don't really think about you guys like that. I definitely don't think about you when I think of slavery. But back to my man. Let's see where we're going with this. Thank you for tuning in. This is Live at 5. It's the only show that starts at blazer o'clock.
We're going live at 5. We're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock.
Follow us on Instagram, connect on Facebook, wherever you can.
I brought you to Cornrows before to tell you how it was used in Outlander and to tell you the tale of Thomas Cochrane Seawolf. Today, I brought you here to talk about slavery. So if you're interested in the people, places, and events in Scottish history, then click the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen.
I'm way ahead of you.
In the meantime,
maybe
let me tell you the
I'm
story.
gonna see your delivery. I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
Sir George Bruce built Cornrows Palace behind me at the turn of the 17th century. His big success was coal mining, and what often went with it, salt pans. Coal was becoming an ever more vital part of the economy. Coal workers were a unique breed. They often worked in families. The husband would go down the mine and hew the coal. His wife would carry the coal to the surface. The kids would probably be involved as well. Spending all that day down a mine as a family.
How are you feeling about these captions? Why would they make the tiniest captions I've ever seen in my life? Is that something that I can change? Hello? Can anyone see those words? Oh, that's how we're doing that. It's probably good to the UK. But we're doing tiny captions. All right, well, look.
Brought the social limitations of a solitary career and the stigma of the career choice itself.
You can hear them, so just get that.
Was it a choice? You weren't forced into it. But you didn't get kids saying, Dad, when I grow up, I want to dig coal. That's a good career choice, son, because I'm pretty certain you'll achieve your goal. But owners of a coal mine, they had problems as well. If workers left your mine to go and work for another, the 1597 Poor Laws in Scotland said that somebody who'd been sentenced as a vagrant could be given in servitude to anyone who would keep him in employment, and he and his children could be kept in lifelong bondage. Well, vagrants, yes, serves them right for not having proper jobs, eh? 10 years later, in 1606, the Anant Colliers and Salters
inside the house.
It said that if you had a job as a coal miner or worked in the salt pans, you couldn't leave your employer without a written testimonial. You were bound to him for life. Abandoning your role or taking up other employment without permission was a criminal offence of theft from your employer. And you could be hunted down, and if captured within a year and 1 day, could get a flogging. If you were a coal miner, things had just changed.
Not a flogging.
Before 1606, you were notionally free, with all the real-life restrictions of being born a poor collier compared to being born a coal owner.
You don't want to get
but
the
now that notional freedom was gone, and things got worse. Because as courts applied the law, a year and a day seemed to get longer. In the case of Wallace of Craigie and William Cunningham of Brown Hill, coal workers who had left Craigie's mine 8 years before were forcibly returned to their owner. The ratchet had clicked another notch. A new law in 1641 extended servitude to not just colliers themselves, but to surface workers and ancillary roles. Also extended to workers in manufacturing, although that wasn't strictly enforced. This law also banned coal miners from customary holidays other than, and it demanded a 6-day week. What about the collier children? The School Establishment Act 1616 required publicly funded, church-supervised schools to be established in every parish in Scotland, but not for the children of coal miners. Slavery would be hereditary. Often, a coal owner would pay a fee to bring somebody into bondage as a coal worker. It might be the gift of a pair of shoes. It might be more. But now, it was limited to 20 merks. Now, coal owners would use this custom to give an existing coal worker's newborn a baptism gift. So even as the minister gave the child to God for eternity, the coal owner was saying in life, that child belongs to me.
Right.
The dad was responsible for paying costs of recovery if one of the children ran away.
That was a ruffled silkskin. Every time he does that.
Another act in 1672 gave coal masters the right of apprehending vagabonds and their children.
While he's in 1672, I'll just do, because we already jumped to 1500s. But since I was talking about Ellen and Margaret, the lassies from earlier, the Peter and Peter and the Moor, the Moorish lassies, they revived in 1504. So since he's already in the 1600s, I believe, so I'm just going to just drop some 1504 facts real quick. That he failed to mention. Ellen and Margaret, not to cut my man off, but the Moorish lassies, they went to Edinburgh. If you don't know where that is, neither do I. I know. It's like, why didn't you look up Edinburgh? No, listen. Edinburgh, look it up yourself. Jesus Christ. But Edinburgh, in 1504, he became the ladies in waiting, like I mentioned before, for the then I just learned, for the fourth king. And he mentioned the baptizing, that's why I wanted to stop it. They were baptized and integrated into the elite court. So they had to wash the black people first, okay? They washed the Moors. In order for them to be part of the court, you had to be baptized, integrated, and then you have to figure out what we're going to do with you. And then we say, like, well, look, this is really important, Peter and Martin, as free African men and royal, free African people in royal court. They received funds to travel to France and had a very close relationship with the king. Also, their influences, even back then, all the fashion, of course, all the fashion. Ellen Moore, which I'm not sure if Ellen may be, they could be men or women. I believe there's 2 women, or 1 man and 1 woman, maybe one woman and 1 man. Ellen Moore was even crowned. Well, if they castrated him, is he still a man?
Yeah.
They cut the Moors. They had to snip the Moors. That was a real thing. But in return, Ellen Moore was crowned Queen of Beauty in a royal tournament. So, big moves. I don't know if this was a local tournament, but she won. So congratulations to black women. I believe Ellen is a black woman.
The African,
not shout out to black people in general.
the African American woman is the backbone of the black family. Really, the whole.
I'll let my man continue, but yes, just want to drop a fun fact that the Moorish lassies, which I assume were women, yeah, Ellen and Margaret, they never dropped their real names. So these are not their real names, of course. Their original names are not in the history books, and they never told anyone their real names. So it's kind of tricky when you have things like situations where you are thriving in white spaces and you are anonymous and no one knows who you are, but you are making a huge impact. That's where you get that go back to your own country shit from. That syndrome kicks in as soon as you're thriving somewhere else, because it's like you can't be from here because they didn't thrive. And I don't understand that. I understand why a white person would tell another person to go back to their country if they saw them happier in their country than they seem to be. Seems like they got the shaft. I don't need.
Did you feel that?
Yeah. But it's okay. Like I said, for every white person that tells another person to go back to their own country, their daughter or sibling or whatever will be dating a person of color, and you're fucked. I mean, that's just happening. Did you feel that? So just put that on. Just don't say it too much, because when you shoo them off, they come right back. I promise you, they come right back. Now you got yourself a black grandson or a black granddaughter, and you just told somebody to go back to their own country. What are you gonna say to your own fucking your own family? It's like it's a disease.
Without the need of a trial in a court of law. Co-workers were included in the inventory of sale and land or property. In Fife, a collier wasn't even allowed to be buried in the same grounds as a free man. Now, I've called them slaves. It was a term often used at the time and in general and in legal documents. But you might reasonably say that as the ratchet tightened on men who had started off nominally free, the Caribbean and the Americas were full of black men and women in far worse conditions. And you'd be right. Colliers were paid a wage, sometimes as much as 3 times that of a general labourer. They could own property. They could pass that property on to their children. They could even stand.
Anytime, yeah, you're talking about passing down, right? Exactly. Every time you see slaves, they're always working. Every time I see Jews, they're like just standing around.
Yo, that's my
But they couldn't leave their master or choose a different life for themselves or their family. They weren't chattel slaves transported across an ocean, subjected to horrific conditions, punishment, torture, or murder. The conditions weren't great. But their women weren't systematically raped by the mine owners. People often comment about ancestors who crossed the Atlantic having been sold into or having sold themselves in indentured servitude. And that's not the same thing either. But slavery isn't black and white. It's not digital, it's analog. At one end, you're notionally free, but have freedoms restricted by employers or others. You might even have to get vaccinated for the greater good. At the very other extreme is life under the lash in cotton fields or a sugar plantation. Each click of the ratchet turns the screw a little bit higher until
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car.
For every commercial, we get some more Scottish black facts. Okay, interesting show. I'm going to call it a sequel. It's a follow-up to the old Ginger Snap, where we are finding out that black people all over the world do not hate us and do exist, unlike the world has shown us. It just made us feel like you're not no African because they work. And it's like, did you ever talk to Africans? It's like, no, I only know like 2. So it's just like they're just different perspectives of the African American, except for the right one. That's all I'm trying to say. You can have all the fear ones and all the new stuff. That's all fun and it's fun.
White people
That's fun, but in reality, it's going to come a time. The time is coming that you're seeing Black people in all these other places. So it's like, how can they be this one thing if they're everywhere? So it's just kind of kills stigma. It kills I guess I want like just negative annotations of what Black people are. It kills the narrative, because if we're over there, how can we be so? How we only gross here, the violence and all that, when those countries don't have the same amount of violence, let alone the same amount of Black people as us, and they're out there just living their lives, right? Like we would like to do if it wasn't for the hostility and the bullshit.
Did you feel that?
Yeah. So now you can see how calm Black people can live. That's why we're looking to move. Unfortunately, there's no universal safe place for the N-word. It's used everywhere, unfortunately, and it's I guess it comes from us. It comes from us, the Americans.
You know what came back?
The white Americans, to be specific. But that whole having the weapon to use that word whenever you want, unapologetically and joyfully, it kind of like you're portraying again a character that you're not. He started the video. Sorry, I'll bring it back. But yeah, he started the video. It's portraying a character that you're not. So again, if you the caption was on, I could have just let it rock. But I want to hear it too. You could have just find your own word, but you would rather copy off of one of the most sinister acts in human nature. And I'm not talking about Anne Frank. All right, brought it back. Shout outs to comparing Harriet Tubman to
the screw a little bit higher until
I get that transition.
This is the image of Scottish mining that I grew up with. Hard-working, noble men, not children, who put in a day's shift at the pit head and lived as members of a free society. So how did the change happen? I've brought you to Scotland's National Mining Museum at Newton Grange, which is worth a visit when you can, incidentally. And I've brought you here to take you back to the 1770s and another look at that freeman-slave continuum. In 1769, John Wedderburn came home to Perthshire, having made a bucket load of cash as a plantation owner in Jamaica. 7 years earlier, he bought a young slave boy from a ship's captain newly arrived on the Guinea coast. Wedderburn brought the slave Joseph Knight back with him to serve in his home in Perthshire, where he was baptised. But when young Joseph got jiggy with Anne Thompson, one of the other servants, Wedderburn refused to let him live with his now wife and child. When Knight left anyway, his master had him arrested. Now,
of course he did.
Knight knew that a couple of years earlier, another slave had landed in England, claimed his freedom, and it had been judged that slavery was unsupported by common law in England. Joseph Knight won his case in Perthshire, but his master appealed, and the case went all the way through the various stages of the Scottish court up to the Court of Session in Edinburgh. And the court decided that slavery and its state is not recognised in the laws of this kingdom and is inconsistent with the principles thereof. The slave owner's appeal was thrown out by the Court of Session because we sit here to enforce right, not to enforce wrong. Although in the plantations they laid hold of the poor blacks and made slaves of them, yet I do not think that it is agreeable to humanity, not to say to the Christian religion. Is a man a slave because he is black? No, he's our brother, and he's a man. He's in this land of liberty with his wife and child. Let him remain there. The court thus held that the dominion assumed over this Negro under the law of Jamaica, being unjust, could not be supported in this country to any extent, unless he was thinking of working down the pit. The court also held that Joseph Knight was protected from being unjustly arrested for leaving his master under the habeas corpus rights conferred by the Act of 1701, rights which the Act specifically denied to coal miners.
That's the way he walks away. He walks off. His walkaways are like.
It was while all this was going on, and
I mean,
for coal miners passed through the Scottish Parliament, so that anyone becoming a coal miner was no longer bound to servitude. But if you were already a coal miner, then depending on your age, you had to wait 3 to 10 years before you were entitled to freedom. These terms could be extended if no replacement was found for you. Oh, and by the way, it wasn't just given to you. You'd have to have the time and wherewithal to take the matter to court. So years after the slave Joseph Knight was freed, many coal miners were not. Plus, the emancipation of miners didn't come because of an outcry for Christian values. It came because coal owners needed to find a way to persuade people to go and work in their mines. As it turns out, higher wages in exchange for serfdom and slavery somehow hadn't worked. The final Parliamentary Act liberating coal miners came in 1799. But let me make 3 quick points. 1, slavery isn't digital. Coal miners were moved little by little up that increasing slope of slavery as their rights were eroded by each succeeding Act of Parliament. There's maybe a lesson in that for us all.
Yes,
2,
for sure.
men like Joseph Knight may have been higher up that slope, but slavery isn't black and white. If anything, the true colour of slavery is green. And one last point. By the time this was in full swing as a modern working colliery, coal slavery was gone. And I don't remember anybody looking down on people because they were coal miners.
I thought it was money.
So if 250 years after Knight v. Wedderburn, you do still look down on people because of their colour, maybe it's time to join the 21st century. I've got a video about slavery in the Scottish Church coming up on screen now. In the meantime, I mean, Dawkins can be Lam Ali. Cheery and Drast.
Excellent. Well said. I love his font, and I love his what he does here. Look what he's doing. He just does all this stuff. Talks about Scottish Black history and British Black history, slavery in the church. Slavery in the church. History. Well, I see Frederick Douglass up there. I might have to click on this, clearly. But before I do that, I have other stuff. We have other matters to attend. Quiet down. Quiet down.
We're going live at 5. We're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6:05. Ooh, next day.
So I do the bit where I pick my handkerchief and then I pull it out because I noticed that they mentioned black and white and green, and I'm wearing those colors, right?
Fight and you may die. Run. You'll live. At least a while.
Guys.
Subscribe and share. It's free. If you have the internet, it's absolutely free. If you have the internet, it's free. If you put on your internet, it be there. Like, subscribe, and share on the internet. It's on the internet. Just put on linktointernet.com.
I found one of my jokes from when I used to write jokes. This is my joke sheet. I found some jokes, and this is not planned. Let me just explain how much this is not planned.
You got.
My wife asked me today. You know, I said I didn't know what I was gonna put on for the show. Clearly, I was gonna do. I wasn't going for t-shirt. I wasn't going for t-shirt, but I was gonna wear something else. She said you should wear the t-shirt. You don't care about that. But the moral of this story is, I said, what about this green blazer for the Scottish thing? Because it's the same. It's like a kilt. It's like the kilt color, or you would call it it's in my tartan kilt, tartan cloth. But probably saying that wrong. That's okay. But the thing is this: inside the pocket, I have 2 jokes One joke I would read today and one joke I will read tomorrow. So I will go with the closest to, you're not going to believe, it's not planned, on God's hand.
Yeah.
You've got to love life to have life.
The world you live in is just sugarcoated.
Life to love life.
Okay. This is an exclusive. I've never done stand-up on this thing. Maybe it'll give me 800 more views like the Scottish guy got. I'm not hating though. I'm not hating. All right. How many Nazis does it take to change a black light bulb? Any takers? How many Nazis does it take to change a black light bulb? Okay. Absolutely 9.
The African.
Follow us on Instagram. Connect on Facebook, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be right back.
Absolutely 9. 9 like that, though. What do you think? All right. What's a black light bulb? I mean, come on. Like a black bulb. I don't know. Tough crowd. Okay, moving on. This video seems fun, but where are we at? I have time for this? Maybe a little bit. I'll see what he's saying. 12 minutes? I can do 12. I can do 12 minutes. 12 minutes of skip? Just see what he's talking about? I got Frederick Douglass up there. Gotta put this bitch in 720p so I don't want any problems. But if I could possibly get a larger... Here we are. Here we are. We did it. We did it. Bam. No problem. Okay, let's get into a little bit of this Frederick Dougie. And then I'll get into the video that started this all. Thank you for joining me. This is Live at 5.
We're going live. 5. We're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. This is 665. Ooh, next day.
How do we overcome the go back home syndrome? I would say challenge narratives, challenge your own aesthetic, and challenge the dominant narrative as well, because it's not going to be just white people saying this to you. It might be other people. Also, definitely foster Black diasporic networks all over, because the only reason why something sparked in my brain with this, because I'm a firm believer that the only way we're going to ever get through any of this is to show power and visibility of strength in numbers and visibility of the same color of people who believe in their own color and goals and what we want out of life, and we could like come together and change narrative. I think it's strength in numbers. So there's a lot of colonial entanglements that we have to get through, and that's okay because they've been here before us.
Subscribe and share.
And they'll be here long after us.
This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. This is not me. I'm fighting.
Let's see how Scottish and what you call it have anything to do with each other, churches and Frederick Douglass. And then I'm gonna get into the main video that start this all, where here's some sexy Black people talk Scottish accents. I have one personal clip of a woman who's really ecstatic. It's kind of like the one I played in the clip from the Irish video. It's just an Irish woman in the car who acknowledges, a Scotland woman in the car who acknowledges all the love being shown to them. And I'll give you their response, her response. Yeah, thank you for joining. This is Live at 5. We're wrapping up.
We're going live.
We did good. We did a good show. We did good today. Thank you for joining me.
You may die. Run. You'll live. At least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now. Would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell Iris that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
Black history in Scotland, I've brought you to the Perthshire town of Outlander. Now, if that seems
You're supposed to keep going. Keep talking.
surprising, it's because people don't realise that links to the slave trade are all around us. If you want to know more, then come inside this churchyard. Oh, by the way, if you're interested in the people, places, and events in Scottish history, then
Pretty much the premise of the show was the Cornrows and to show Highlander's story. So showing Black history in Scotland is not so much off topic than it is on topic. So shout outs to Live at 5. I'm kind of on par. Almost went off with that Scotland community though. But we're
I wish a nigga. I wish a nigga.
Okay. Well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel Scotland History Tours. In the meantime, let me tell you a story.
This video, you got it, bro.
I want to start by telling you about Frederick Douglass. Now, there'll be people watching who already know about Frederick Douglass. Much of the Scottish Black community, people who are interested in US or Scottish history, people who campaign for racial equality. You know, the kind of folk you'd want to have at a dinner party. Oh, I've heard the word woke used to insult people. I'll be honest, I've never gotten the bother of finding out what this insult woke means. Because frankly, the people I've heard used it are the kind of people that you wouldn't want to invite to a dinner party. Anyway, for those who haven't heard, Frederick Douglass was born a slave in Maryland in 1818. He was born Frederick Bailey. That was his slave name. Incidentally, what a lot of people don't know is that Malcolm X was once invited to the prestigious New York Mathematicians Annual Ball, and his invitation said X plus 1. The strange thing is, none of the mathematicians could work out why.
Shout out to DMX. Man, this guy's questioning it.
It's twisted. Somebody did that thing to somebody else. Yes.
Don't worry, Frederick Douglass was no good at algebra either, but he was good with words. As a teenager, he was taught to write by his slave mistress until her husband found out. He went daft and stopped it. Now you might be thinking that believing the ability to write was a bad thing meant he was daft in the first place. And of course, you'd be right. But keep it quiet. Some white folks still don't know that we can read.
Oh, shit.
He escaped and fled to the north. He changed his name from Bailey to Douglas, inspired by Sir Walter Scott's writings in the Black Douglas of Robert the Bruce fame, so I'm told. Come on the jocks. Before long, his charisma and eloquence meant that he was lecturing for the anti-slavery movement, and he wrote a book about his life story and escape, which in those days sold 30,000 copies in 5 years. Now, revealing these details put him in danger of being recaptured. So sending a copy of his book to his ex-master was ballsy.
It's kind of stunning.
But it might not have been the smartest thing he'd ever done. Anyway, it was safer for him to be across an ocean. And in 1845, he set off for Britain. And he carried out a tour of speaking engagements. Now, many of you will have heard about this tour. Some of you will know about the impact of this tour. A few of you might even know the slogan that was being shouted in the towns and cities and rhymed in songs: send the money back. The point is that some of you will have heard about Frederick Douglass, but less of you will know about this place. This is the old parish church of Outlander. Now, it's only the graveyard that's left now, that and the tower. But this is a central place in the history, not only of the Scottish church, but in the wider life of civic Scotland, and indeed in the tour of Frederick Douglass. Let's have a seat and talk about it.
I did not know I was being talked about Frederick Douglass. Say, shout out to Frederick Douglass.
It all started with the Reformation.
He loves his camera.
In England, the Reformation happened because Henry VIII wanted to marry Anne Boleyn.
Different.
Now, when the Pope said no, Henry thought much better if the king was head of the church rather than the Pope. So now the monarch is the head of the Church of England. He would appoint bishops rather than the Pope. The point is that whether the Catholic or the Anglican Church, the clergy were appointees of patrons. Now in Scotland, the Reformation happened slightly differently. It was more bottom up. It was a congregation who appointed the minister. The church was independent of the patronage of the crown or landowning interests. Now, this wasn't always straightforward. Throughout the 17th and 18th century, the Union of the Crowns, the Bishops' Wars, English Civil Wars and stuff like that, there was a constant fight and tension between the Scottish Presbyterian system and the more anglicised Episcopalian system.
Shout out to the Anglos.
Now, it's too little time. Suffice to say that in the 1707 Act of Union, Scotland was promised that it would keep its Presbyterian bottom-up, people choose the minister type arrangements. Then, 4 years later, the British Parliament reintroduced the right of patrons to appoint ministers by passing the Church Patronage Scotland Act. Aye, you never saw that coming, did you? That came out of left field. Promise you anything and stay part of the union, then once you vote, then...
Mr. Freebie!
Right, Black history.
When they say left field, do they have baseball in Scotland?
So, the Church of Scotland regularly complained about the patronage thing, but nothing ever happened. Things came to a head in this church on the 31st of August, 1830.
Well, that'll put a kink in my shillelagh. That's not it, right? I can't use that. I don't know. I don't know if I can use that. I mean, I could probably use it. You can't. You can't.
Or because the minister here, the Reverend Charles Stewart, died. 2 weeks later, the Earl of Cornrows put forward his replacement, the Reverend Robert Young. The congregation voted and said, no, we didn't want him. And they blocked the ordination. Now, the Reverend Young and the Earl of Cornrows went to the court, and the case was found in their favour. In the 1707 Union, the Church of Scotland was guaranteed by law, but the law determined that in the state religion, patronage was protected. This landmark case was swiftly followed by more. So, long story short, in 1843, about 400 ministers said, right, that's it, we're out of here. We're not prepared to remain in an established church where the state can impose ministers chosen by the landed elite. We must have freedom to choose. They walked out of the Church of Scotland and set up the Free Church of Scotland. There was one problem. The established Church of Scotland had all the churches, land, and revenues. The new Free Church had freedom to meet out in the open air. They needed to build churches, and they needed the money to do it. The spark had been lit here at Outlander Parish Church 9 years before. Now let me show you something 300 metres down the road.
That can't be far.
You see, here in Outlander, because their dispute had started 9 years earlier, by the time the schism happened, they designed and built the church that you can see behind me, which became the first free church in Scotland just in time for the schism. The problem was that the Free Church needed to raise money for lots more. They'd appealed far and wide for benefactors. Now, it just so happened that there were Presbyterians of Scots descent in the southern states of America who were only too willing to donate funds. So the Free Church of Scotland, who found the imposition of ministers by a landowner such an intolerable restriction on freedom that it wasn't to be borne, gratefully received funds from landowners who owned human beings as chattel. The slave owners gave money, and they were lent credibility and a tacit moral acceptance from across the ocean and from part of what had been the mother church. Slave owning can't be that bad. It funds God's work. What neither slavers nor the Free Kirk had reckoned on was Frederick Douglass, who arrived in Scotland in 1846 to travel country, preaching the gospel.
Excuse me, you means Frederick Douglass. It's a Douglass, please. Thank you.
Of abolitionism. He preached to land, send the blood-stained money back. It was sung in songs. It was shouted in the streets. It was written on paper. Some enterprising young women even had it carved on Arthur's seat for all in Edinburgh to see. Send the money back. The hypocrisy of the Free Church provided a rallying cry for abolitionists and an easy target for their detractors in the established church.
That's abolitionists.
So they gave the money back. Of course they did it. What are you like? People will always find a convoluted way to justify a morally indefensible position if it's convenient for them to do so. My comfort in a pew and paisley far outweighs any discomfort felt by some black in Cottonfield, Carolina. But you knew that anyway. That's not history. That's current affairs. Even now, we see all sorts of contorted justifications of why equality isn't a priority. They say all lives matter. But if they really believed that all lives matter, then they'd be saving refugees in the Mediterranean and the English Channel. But they're not. If they really believed all lives matter, then they'd be screaming out for justice for the poor and downtrodden in society. But they're not. If they really believed that all lives mattered, then they would be campaigning on behalf of the poor, underdeveloped countries affected by climate change caused by the rich developed ones. But they're not.
Okay.
They don't actually mean all lives matter. What they mean is that their life matters more and they don't want to change. So if the congregation will open our books and sing Psalm 1999 in the consumerism hymnal, I am all right, Jack, don't know about you. We'll remain seated in our comfortable church of privilege to sing. Of course, I'm making a sweeping generalization about a group of people. And I'm lumping them all together as being ignorant, contemptible, and all the same. I know. It's wrong, isn't it? But the fact of the matter is that we all do it to varying degrees.
Listen, this guy, scholar, I'm calling him Drew Marley, some sort of Scottish Jamaican. He said, I know that. He sounds like some sort of Bob McIntyre, maybe something like that. Some sort of Rasta O'Reilly.
Did that make you feel a certain way?
Yeah. Loving him. This guy's my new favorite guy. I'm all in. Guys, welcome to Live at 5. We're wrapping up. I'm going to get into the origin video after my man finishes talking about Frederick Douglass.
We're going live. 5. Live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. Live at 6 o'clock.
Follow us on Instagram. Connect on Facebook, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be right back.
White, left, right, unionist, independent. Not only that, but I, Bruce Fumi, benefit from slavery today. Much of the physical infrastructure that we enjoy in Britain today, Victorian bridges, buildings, economic development, and first world status, much of that came from the fruits of that trade. Every time I take a train from Glasgow to Aberdeen, I benefit from black enslavement.
I would love to take a train from Glasgow.
If I'm honest, I don't really check my wardrobe. I may be benefiting from a modern counterpart. So here's a question to ask yourself honestly.
Shout out to this guy.
Would you have sent the money back?
Nice.
Would I? It's not a judgment on our past. It's a question to help us plan for the future.
Respect.
I mean, Doc is going to be a llama like Cheery and Rasta.
He likes to get the walk away. Like, let me just, I said what I said. I'm out of here. All right. We're winding down. Thank you for joining me, guys. We'll come to an end. I'm gonna play the origin video that started us off, and I'll end with the young lady. I think I have that video. I have that video. I don't even have that video. Okay, I'll send that video to myself. With her talking about it. But I'm pretty sure the video I'm gonna play, if you've never seen it, is gonna be something different for you as well. I don't know if you've been watching the Scottish debates and all this stuff, but you know, there's compilation videos. But I got one, and I guess I'll just play that one, and then we'll get out of here. Instead of singling one out, I'll play the montage. Shout outs to Marcella Goodrich for this montage. Very helpful. So again, guys, I'm going to be wrapping up. I'm going to end with the video that started it all. And I'll let you get on with your day. Thank you for joining me. I've been live at 5. The only show that starts at 7 o'clock. It could be anywhere else in the world.
Live at 5. We're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. This is 665.
Fight and you may die. Run. You'll live. At least a while. And dying in your bed many years from now. Would you be all the days from this day to that? For one chance, just one chance to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our land, but they will never take our freedom.
Do a little bit of both. I'll do 5 minutes of 2 videos. I got one video that's gonna skim through the racism in Scotland by a collective, and then I'll get into male and female perspective of being Black in Scotland. How's that? That's what I got for you. So I'll start with the women first, and then we'll get into the males. Because you can't be too excited without people spilling black tea. Well, hold on. She better be Scottish. If she's not Scottish, I don't have time for this. When I go to Nigeria, is she Nigerian? Oh, well, come on now. Okay, it sounds like no one's calling her out for not being Scottish. Amanda Kelly chats about the representing movement in direction of Scotland and why it's important. Okay, BBC Scotland. Okay. Black History Month. Expectations. Okay, so I'll get into representations. Don't worry about tea. Let's get representation.
It doesn't get the credit that it deserves for its importance in our development of self. And as a young Black girl in Scotland, I never see myself represented. There wasn't a lot of Black British people in movies, on TV, in magazines.
Can't imagine.
And at that time, there were even less Black Scottish people in those spaces. So because there wasn't a lot of representation of Black British people, representation largely came from Black Americans. That almost set a standard. A kind of expectation people had of what I would act like. But why would it be? That's not my experience. I sounded like this when I was younger, just with a bit more of a Fife accent. It makes you feel inferior. Everyone had these expectations of me, and I didn't make the cut. I struggled with that a lot. It's a kind of imposter syndrome that I can't even really explain, because I wasn't trying to be anything or anyone else. I was just trying to be me. It might sound minor that I never seen girls that look like me in the media, but I internalized that. It wasn't black women who graced the cover of magazines or who got the guy at the end of the rom-com. When you grow up with nothing but Eurocentric representation in models, TV stars, actresses, it's hard not to compare yourself. Then you start to think, why are they chosen and not people that look like me? Am I too dark? Are my lips too big? Is there something wrong with my skin color? It's hard to be confident in yourself when you always feel like the odd one out, when you look different to everyone in your school, when your first experience of racism is someone calling you poo face in primary one,
The poo
and when everyone has
What's a
an
poo face?
expectation
Fuck
of what
you.
look and sound like, and because you don't meet that, you feel like you're not good enough.
Poo face.
But my biggest realization was that I had always been enough, and that being black isn't a negative, even when people in society are telling you that it is. There are no rules or guidelines for being black. I love who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. Whilst my skin colour doesn't define me, it's one of the things that I love the most about myself. Representation is getting better. Whilst we're maybe not quite there yet, we're headed in the right direction, and that's all that matters. I've seen way more black Scottish people in recent years than I ever did growing up. Finding that correct representation has taught me that it's not necessarily a bad thing to be different. Everyone deserves to feel comfortable in their own skin and proud of who they are.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're damn right. You're damn right. And again, like I said, the quicker we eliminate that go back to your own country mentality, and that you're not supposed to look like that, and that joyful racism that surrounds most of these places, especially Europe, the better we'll be off. I promise you that. And again, strength in numbers. If the people in Scotland had any Black Americans, women supporting them,
The African American.
like they are online, we'd turn that shit into BAPS. It wouldn't even happen like that. It wouldn't be talking shit to nothing. They say, well, how do you do that? Because they talk shit to y'all here, and then y'all don't do nothing about it, not anymore. But we're all using our tools, internet, whatever we got to expose what's been happening for centuries. So we finally got the tools. We finally got the backing, support, because you get like a bunch of people in a chat room or in a comment section that would agree with you. So that's way different than anything that would have happened, like, let's say 20 years ago. So 20, 30 years ago. I'm old. But the point of that is, like she said, the representation is important, because that's the only way we're going to get out of this unscathed, or more unscathed than we've already been. I don't think we need any more scathing. All right, let's hear from the fellas, and then I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for joining me. It's been live at 5. The only show starts at 7 o'clock. Don't forget, if it looks like a mental breakdown,
I wish a nigga.
Creative side hustle almost no.
Subscribe and share.
And shut up. All right, let's see what we got. Hear from the Scottish fellas. Make sure this bitch is on 720p. And then I'm gonna hear from the fellas. I'm gonna hear from a collective, one more collective, and then I'm getting the hell out of here, I promise. This is also a short video. The video is 34 minutes, but I will be skimming through the video. I'm not playing entire 34 minutes. Thank you for joining. They're going to get the same amount of time as the woman did, which was about 3 minutes. 3 minutes before I skip it. 3 minutes. So I got 3 minutes of how they feel is happening. There's going to be some goofing. You know, and again, the links here, you can see it. If you want to finish Growing Up Black in Scotland, Cultural Identity, Racism, and Finding Community. It's by Dami. Dami made this video. Okay, shouts to Dami.
Fight and you may die.
Definitely. That's what I did. My school encouraged learning about Scottish culture. I ended up learning how to play the bagpipes. So yeah, bro, bagpipes. I joined a bagpipe band. I wore a kilt. I had my own kilt. Went to bagpipe.
Dude, look at the new flag. Guys, bagpipes and shamrocks, okay?
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces packed, and I'm home bound.
Guys, it's shamrocks and bagpipes going forward. And then you know what? The more European countries that want to switch sides, I'll keep adding to that flag. Because now it's becoming the colorful coalition. Love that.
It was interesting to learn about the Scottish culture. What's good, fam? If you don't know me, my name is Dan Fadun, and I'm back in Glasgow today with my guys. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, so it's exciting to finally do it. We're gonna talk about growing up black in Scotland. Do you guys wanna introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Toby Gonzalo. I'm Nigerian as well, and I'm currently going into first year university.
What's good, people? It's your boy Mike Duffy. I'm also Nigerian as well as being Irish. I'm currently living in Glasgow as well, and I'm studying body engineering.
Going
myself.
Love the way Nigerians.
Nice. So to kick off the video, I'm going to say a quick disclaimer. This is our experiences, personal experiences in Scotland. So don't come for us like for any opinions you say. Quick background on me, I'm Nigerian as well. I moved to Scotland when I was 7 years old. What's your connection to Scotland?
Yeah, I'd say I'm the same as well. I moved to Scotland when I was around 7 years old as well. I was born in New York, America, so I moved from there. Moved from there, lived in Nigeria for a bit, and then from Nigeria I moved from there to Scotland.
You guys came here when you were young. I moved to Scotland when I was 9.
Who's giving these shape ups in Scotland? Look at my boy. My boy is sharp. Let me find out these black barbers in Scotland is crushing things. Look at my man's shape up in Scotland. How?
Yeah, so it's only 2 year difference, but coming from Ireland and moving here, culture is actually quite similar.
Yeah.
The initial purpose of me moving here was for studying. I wanted her research.
Yeah.
And she found that the education system here is very, very good.
Yeah.
So obviously she saw that opportunity and capitalized on it.
Yeah. I moved all the way from Africa, bro. There was a bit of a more drastic change. First thing we're gonna touch on is when did you realize that you were black? So when did you realize that you were different from your Scottish peers?
Do you know what it is? I'd say it hit you immediately, Rob. Me personally, because obviously we came from, Africa, straight from Africa to Scotland. There's a big difference. I know there's New York for me, but my memory of that is very faded.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference when you go from Africa straight to Scotland. There's a big culture difference.
What were those differences though? Like, is there any specific moments?
Definitely the accent.
That's
classic dialect, bro. Bro, classic dialect was hard. I'll say that's probably one of my biggest times. When people talk to me, I'd find myself trying to
Another thing was there was not much black people in my class. There were a few black people, but the majority of people were white. Coming from a place where most of the people I've known were black, it was just a stark contrast.
I felt that because I was a minority here, there was just sort of I wouldn't say identity crisis. Because you're here, you always have this thing in the back of your mind.
But it's really hard for you to have it.
Secondary school, so fair enough, we're younger.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's it's hidden.
Yeah.
And sometimes people say, or people do. I say, just for example, it's someone turns off the light.
Yeah.
I forgot
what I was when you told me go.
That's definitely one.
Come to Scotland when I was 7. Oh my days. I think racism was bad. Genuinely, it's got better over the years now. Growing up in Scotland especially, it was just bad. The bullying was insane. They'll be calling you fresh off the boat. It was the racism back in the day was insane. It wasn't. It wasn't even microaggression. It was just blatant racism. It was quite bad.
I feel like some people are more direct with it. but then there's people like, there's like a lot of indirect racism.
Yeah.
So like behind like some questions they will ask you.
Yeah, yeah.
Say for instance, like
there's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, go.
Even like in football, like
yeah,
you will look at you like your world covers. It's like obviously like it's a compliment, but it's like I know you're saying that because I'm black. You would say that to someone else. But it's like the thing with racism is like I don't really allow it to get to me as much. Because it's like obviously you grew up in Ireland as well. Like, obviously it's different for you guys because you came straight from Nigeria. You came from New York. And you live in Nigeria as well. So like you guys have grew up like in a country that's predominantly black. Like I've always grew up like in a white environment. So it's like it's not. I'm not saying like I'm accepting of it, like with it, but it's like I've learned to like come up with ways to tackle it and not allow it to affect me too much.
When you were saying like the question would ask you would be like, I don't know, did you have lions as pets and stuff like that, man. No one as well. It's like
ignorance.
Yeah.
That's not a Scotland thing. I once talked to an African like that as a teenager or a kid and was like, oh, so you guys like was hanging out with lions and shit. It's just curiosity that comes off as a little racist.
Yo, that's racist.
So that question to an African, I don't think is that crazy, especially if we don't know a lot about the continent. So not that bad. But as far as the light stuff, classic.
One as well is when it's sports league and the people that are raising it's automatically.
You're black. You're either center back, right back, left back, or striker, or wing. You can't rate it because you're black. You're in grips. You can't. You're violent. You're a gangster. You're in school. In school as well.
They don't like when black people. Like, in my school, to be more precise, if like black people were like want to grip, they're like, it's like that. We're laughing too loud. Or we're being aggressive. Some people find it intimidating. Just little things like that.
Nowadays, you just look back and just almost laugh at it.
What are we talking? Racism in school is big as well. There was stuff like the N-word pass. Like, what even is that? That does not exist. You don't get a pass to be racist.
Yeah, mate, I know.
There was some black people as well that were literally
do it as well.
What you doing? It was stuff like that was just really, it's really annoying, man.
Another one that's properly common is like people that are tanned. Like,
don't get me started on this one, bro.
Girls mostly like, I'm almost the same colour as you. You know what I mean? You're patchy tan. What are you talking about, right? That was annoying. Like, just come and touch your hands.
Touching of us is a bit easy. I see it probably when you're younger, S1 to S3, people didn't ask, it just came up to you, just start touching it.
It's annoying, especially when you spend time combing out, making it just comb touch.
It was a battle, man. Battle. You guys ever tried to, I don't know, like, you see white people there, and like, they always try to copy with us now. I don't know.
When it was raining, you know, spikes.
You're trying to copy, I don't know, just the Bieber side, man. Like,
Bieber was crazy.
I was I definitely attempted to like do this when I was younger.
The time I knew I had hope, it was when I see this again, David Alaba.
It's like,
fuck was that? That nigga looked like Tyler the. Excuse me? Is that a soccer player?
Imagine being able to build anything.
What in the title was that? Is this Tyler? Got his ass. Let's just get a freeze frame of this nigga. Hopefully they get that on the damn thing.
I definitely attempted to like do this when I was younger.
The time I knew I had hope, it was when I see this again, David Alaba.
Man, this nigga looked like Tyler, the Creative. What in the Hindu African? He got spiked hair. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Shout out to this guy. Part of the family. All right, we got a couple more minutes of the boys, and we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Live at 5. The young men, if you will.
We're going live.
Adorable.
Going live at 5.
Having fun. They have all the life, but they have all the life ahead of them, and I hope they live long. They probably live longer living out there. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't come here.
And what, you know?
Don't come here. We kill niggas that look like you are here. I promise you that.
Delete! 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 Delete!
Follow us on Instagram. Connect on Facebook, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be right back. Follow us on Instagram. Connect on Facebook.
Shout out to the boys. They'll be okay. The video is there. All right. This was a blast. What's my closing? I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of the same as the Ginger one. Control the construct of racism. Don't let history not matter, and don't let local history not matter. Local history is just as important as the lore that we're following. We're creating our history for tomorrow. So I feel like the more that we change people, we change the way they look, think, and talk, they'll get the perfect world that they want. And that's not going to happen. That's the world full of people not checking pedophiles, people not checking just the people that need to be checked.
That's a good point. Although he is a pedophile. If you only
just you making bad music, like what a lot of new black artists are doing, like a little like compromised black artists. Tyler Majors. Who's Tyler Majors? Thank you for your CP in the chat. Who's that? That's just probably the name I was thinking of. But yes, don't let them change your narrative. Should I Google that name? Don't let them change the narrative of your especially of your framework that you were born with and who you are as a person. It is their narrative to do so. American framework, the goal is to destroy the structure of the black person, who they are as a person. So if you could avoid that and do anything you can to revolutionize yourself and show your power visibly to the opposites and to the antis.
White people.
Not all, but some.
White people.
You could prosper and you can make it out of this alive. I promise you that. Shout out to Tyler Majors. I gotta look up who that is. You know what?
And what, you know, let's check with
Google time. Google time. What is it?
Oh, that's who that guy was. He's a baseball player. Well, he's Taylor Majors. Wait. Who is this? Who's Taylor Majors? What am I doing here? He's a cyclist?
And what, you know, let's check with
Google.
You want to help me out? Who is the Tyler Majors?
The African American woman is the backbone of the black family, really of the whole American family. I mean, who wasn't raised by a black woman? No, I was. You know what? I'm getting a phone call, so I'm going to have to put a pause in this conversation, which I'm really enjoying.
That was a play on, I want to say, Tyler the Creator and Jonathan Majors. Tyler Majors. That's a blast. Love that. Great joke. Thank you for your CP in the chat. Okay, guys, we've come to an end. Thank you for joining me. I've said my piece. You've heard my piece. I'm supposed to do the collective, but we got both sides. I'll put all the links to the rest of the videos inside of the chat. I gotta go, and I gotta end the show the way I always do. Because I'm trying to get the hell out of here. That's what that kid looks like. I got you. That's what's up. Tyler Bakers. Love that. I'm going to, like I said, end it with the joint. Let's take a look at what happens when you Google Tyler Majors, like I did. Look how many Tyler Majors there are. Bless you. Look how many Tyler Majors there are. So that's kind of hilarious. They do exist. They already do exist. None of them look as handsome as the boy. No disrespect. But we did it. Okay. Thank you for your CP in the chat. All right. Before we hit the 2, let's get closing video in. And then we're going to get the H1N1 out of here. Appreciate you. You could be anywhere else in the world. You joined me here. I appreciate you.
I wish a nigga.
Like, subscribe and share.
6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. This is 6. It's 5. Ooh, next day.
All right. What's this so much? Okay, yeah, okay. Got it. All right. So speaking of, I'll do the copyright, so I don't get in trouble. I think we learned a lot today. I put the link to the other video that I was going to play. That's too long for right now, but you can. I put one there. I'll put another one there. This one's called "Racism in Scotland: Being Black in Scotland." It's just another take. I wanted to get the kids' take, the youth them, and this is more of an adult approach. They sat in a community circle and talked about the highs and lows of being black in Scotland. I'll put the link in the chat. It's not that long. It's a 10-minute video, so check that out as well. But for now, I'm going to leave you with the number one rap group in Scotland. The group is called Shogun. They're not black, but they're mixed. They hang out with black people. They're black-like, I guess. I'll say black-like. I'm going to play my copyright. As we do on the show, we like to leave you with a fun fact, before I head out of here. All of you who are familiar with your neighborhood Spider-Man, I'm sorry, I fucking blew my own shit. God damn it.
Subscribe and share. It's free. If you have the internet, it's absolutely free. If you have the internet, it's free. If you put on your internet, it's be there. Like, subscribe, and share on the internet. It's on the internet. Just put on linktointernet.com.
Those of you who have known of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, I have a fun fact for you that you may not have known. The king of pop, rest in peace, shout out to Michael Jackson. He personally contacted Stan Lee and asked to be a part of that franchise. He loved Spider-Man so much, just the character, how what he does, his loss, just everything about Spider-Man, he loved him. So they offered Michael Jackson, the king of pop, a role in the movie, but it was to be because the time the movie came out, the first one or one of the first ones, he was too old to play Spider-Man, of course. So they gave him, he said, I'll take the role as the one who get the Uncle Joe. Was it Joe? No, it's Ben. What's crazy about that is that, and before that time that he even asked to be cast as the character in the Spider-Man, he already wrote a song called Ben already. That song was about a dead mouse of his that has passed away, and he wrote a song for that dead mouse. I don't know if it would have fit for the movie, but if you think about it, Ben was killed. Spoiler alert. So I'm like, yo, Ben was killed multiple times. Multiple universes. All I'm saying is this. If Michael Jackson would have been part of the Spider-Man franchise, he was trying to buy Marvel. Michael Jackson almost bought Marvel. If they would have put him in the movie, he would have purchased Marvel. But they didn't. Do you know what they did instead?
Delete! 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 Delete!
I'll tell you the role that they gave him, same amount of time, at the same time, instead of the role that he asked for. This is not a fake story, this is a true story. At the time, when Michael asked to be in the movie you know as Spider-Man, he was rejected, the king of pop. We could probably know why. It's hard to put a person that looks like Michael Jackson at the time in a movie, but he's the king of fucking pop, dude.
This is me right here.
Regular,
All day,
regular.
every day.
It's regular. No.
That's how you know a nigga's still a nigga, no matter how unnigga you get. You're still treated like one. So instead of giving them the role, this is what they gave Michael Jackson, the king of pop. He had a small role in Men in Black 2, where there's a scene where he just talks to Will Smith and then people just call him a freak. They go, who's this freaky alien? That's the role that Michael Jackson got in fucking in slew of not getting the Spider-Man role. They decided to put him in Men in Black 2, the worst one, if anything, as a cameo where Will Smith calls him a freak. They both call him who's this freak? And it's like, it's just Michael, but they don't call it clearly. But this is the role that he got instead of being Ben in the Michael Jackson movie. I mean, in the Spider-Man movie. So shout outs to the movie industry and shout outs to people shutting down Michael Jackson for roles. The king of pop. He went on to do greater things, of course. But if Michael Jackson would have bought Marvel, we'll be at a very different place with this franchise right now. That's all I'm trying to say.
All that jumping is making me nervous.
They jump so much because they have superpowers. ¿Tú no entiendes, chingao?
All right. That was my fun fact for the night. Thank you for joining me. This has been don't forget this image. Don't let it escape you. Don't forget about Michael Jackson and Men in Black 2. Don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget. He could have been in Spider-Man. He could have bought Marvel. But instead, he had a cameo in a movie that I will never watch again. So you don't even remember him being in the movie.
Did you feel that? Yes.
I've been your host, iNegroes 1. This has been Live at 5, the only show that shuts at 7 o'clock. This has been the Black Highlander story. A story of castles and cornrows. It's not going to get better than that. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I won't know. I won't be there. All right. I'm only here. Come check us out. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Share it with your friends. Share it with someone you love. Share it with someone you hate.
I wish a nigga.
Like, subscribe, and share.
All right. Don't forget to love yourselves and I love you back. I'll see you tomorrow, a little earlier. The topic, who knows? Who knows? But it'll be just as fun. Hopefully not as racist, but just as informative. All right. Nothing wrong with a little racism, guys. It exists. And the more we know about it, the more we can avoid it. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Like I said, I've been your host, Odd Negroes. Share the video, like the video. Don't be a dick. Yeah, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye.
I'm Ginger and I'm back being a black Scottish ginger babe. Guys, honestly, I love you Americans so much. Like, I'm so... I'm Ginger and I'm back being a black Scottish ginger babe.
Yeah, it's real now. Let's speak out. Fuck your weak views. Take 2 minutes to peer through my optics. I'm feeling they're making a killing.
Yeah, it's real now. Let's speak out. Fuck your weak views. Take 2 minutes to peer from my optics. I'm feeling it, making a killing, feeling it filling up my pockets. Masculine like Paul Potts for the profit. No religious affiliation, man, stop it. Half tall grey, half monstrous. How you gonna stop this? I don't need to talk clips once I drop this in the stove and I want the slow give you one of the did in my flow. You look a little timidor as I sit and scrub notes and alchemist. Still make it apparent this as if for the gold I was born in 97, so fuck your profession. Don't know where my head is. Treasure forever hidden, just so I don't get searched. Smoking organic, I'm making you panic, man. Fuck all that peace chat. But they get at by the tat tat tat. Speak up, speaking slang, got the virgin arm telling us you don't need a man. So what does that mean? I've been a little bit fucked lately, and I don't wanna be another stereotype. I gotta grow, but man, it's really fucked 80 years old. Thinking of it end of my life, I don't give a fuck for your judgment. You're lucky to only throw punches when I rate. So fucking selfish, I'll admit it. That's why this is scripted. I'm not talented or gifted or up and coming. I'm just obsessed with stressing. Fucking running for my lifestyle that I'm hated for the way you. But I pushed everybody that ever meant anything to me. Outrageous, wanted to get my dick sucked. Always trying to crack jokes, little sick fuck. Why can't I just appreciate life? Smile. You hate me, it's mutual. The sound of your body hitting the ground would be beautiful. I'm like a movable object in God's head, and I'm still reading my cuticle, still doing all the things that I used to do. Crucially, my hatred was created in the crucible. Alone in this that fuck, I put my head up at the cubicle. Gotta make it apparent that I lost a parent when I never had him. That it was a no-show when the pain burned out slow, deadbeat big girl. I can't even tell my mum when I loved her that I love her. Wish it was the way it was when I was making dents out of boxes and covers. Box my destiny, not a fucking one-hit wonder. Make sure you remember this. Better end up better than David. Put your bets in the devil in my pen again. I'm meddling, civil and petulance. Gotta get it in. I'm the mercury in me. So-called veterans, medicines. Skipping my selfish ways. More brain spread on a page. So I put my soul in a song, so in me like an arm, but I'm never calling that bitch back. Smoking my Afghan on an app, and I went through it all in the fucking past. Never again, man. 750M, MFD. Man, save like a hit for back in your face, hardly a subliminal youngster. I'm still feeling old, heartbeat, stereo, typical, taking it back. I wouldn't walk in the face, the break. Still never set across class. Abuse my intuition. I see the weak when these MCs are spitting. Fuck the fraudulent body and slips. I'm slipping. I really wish I went in prison for the victim to this. Just a social condition I'm fixed in. Between genius and insanity, never shed a tear when one go past, cause I had to be doctors, one done my baby, then they fucking listen to good old Uncle Henry. So myself and him, is it lied, stole and cheated anybody or anything? I'm not looking out and it doesn't sold this soul for the substance, but fuck it. Rep this fucking make like a vote. I just wish I got the chance to say I loved them. Sold this fucking soul for the substance. Man, fuck it. Long as I rep this make like a fucking vote. I just wish I got the chance to say I loved them.